Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got harem with Android 18, Bulma and Hinata? Part 2. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so without wasting any time let's get into the video. Ahahahaha, come and die, did you hear him, father? This monkey thinks he can win against me, Frieza laughed as his father chuckled. Well now Frieza, it seems we have a guest, King Cold said. Why don't leave here, boy, I mean you will die anyway, but why not leave and live a little longer while you can, Frieza told him arrogantly, but frowned when he seen Kaizen not move but glare at the tyrant with now onyx eyes with a white design that resembles a weird symbol, think a sun with a pentagram, one pointing up the other pointing down. If you think I am playing then let's dance, Kaizen said with little emotion in his voice. Dance? Oh my father, he thinks he's a ballerina, Frieza said. If you think I'm joking then come at me, you crowd shits. Kaizen got Frieza mad. Fine then, soldiers attack, leave nothing of him said and watched as his soldiers charged Kaizen. HN, don't mock me with this, weaklings, Kaizen said and closed his right eye as his left eye spun slowly. What is he doing, soldier 1 asked. Doesn't matter, let's end this bastard, soldier 2 said. Kaizen just stood there with his arms crossed and opened his right eye and spoke. Yomi, world of darkness, as his right eye bled the platoon had all suddenly stopped, they see the world around them turn completely black, with a few hollow moans echoing, then pure black vines shot up at intense speeds from the ground binding them. The dark vines will then pull their captives down into the earth. Then it stopped and the soldiers felt different and find themselves bound to a cross in the sky, with spikes piercing their hands through causing them to scream. This isn't real, one said, only to have his mouth sewn up, and a dark malevolent voice filled the air with holy music playing. Naruto, the gods awaken. Scream all you want, cry, beg, no one can hear you, I am your kami, your yami, your shinigami, I am your hell, and your heaven, the voice said, getting louder as a white light broke through the darkness of this hellhole, only to reveal Kaizen descending down like a god glaring at them as his eyes glowed menacingly. You all follow a tyrant who has slaughtered hundreds, thousands, millions of lives without fear, regrets, or sympathy, then you allow him to kill my people, my home, my world, my family. You all want to follow a madman, then follow him to his grave, begging from my sight. Kaizen spoke with a demonic voice and snapped his fingers which echoed through the world, and the ground shook and cracked open to reveal demons reaching out and trying to grab them. As this was going on, the crosses that bound them slowly descends. As this happens, demons will emerge from within the earth and begin to torture the souls of the targets that are bound. Help us. Lord Frieza. I don't want to die. I can't go out like this. Damn you Saiyans, was the only responses of Frieza and King Cold soldiers before they were eaten alive. Outside of Yomi, Frieza was curious as to why his soldiers had stopped moving along with his father, only to be in both shock and anger to see the troops fall dead 3 seconds later. How is this possible? King Cold roared in anger. HMPH, it's one of my moves, Yomi, though you will not experience that power, nor will your son, you earned a much better punishment, Kaizen said while. You know, brat, you only live because I need something to entertain me until the Super Saiyan Goku arrives, Frieza told him, being beepy. So Kakarot became a Super Saiyan, arg, just saying, and hearing his name bring out some rage, and now there is only him and his father, as well as another power level I sense in the ship and behind the cliffs. Any ideas, QB-sama, Yanbi-sama, Kaizen thought, then spoken to his new Biju and his old Biju. He is arrogant and has a quick temper, nothing you can't handle with ease, son said, watching the entire fight, and then looked back to see a giant dark red almost black fox with 9 tails rise up. Menma's QB, it's obvious that this freaky alien genotype has experience of a Super Saiyan, so show them why they are legendary, kid, leave him in the grave of fear itself. Yami Kurama shouted. Menma Biju was a dark Biju, so Yami Kurama, HMPH, Goku isn't the only one who can turn Super Saiyan, you're looking him, so I can fill the part, the Saiyan Jinchuriki spoke, making the king and his son gasp before they busted out laughing. Did you hear that, daddy? I can fill the part, it's like a 5-year-old trying to play police officer, Frieza spoke. Or with you and how you like to play pretty pink princesses, daddy, I haven't done that since I was 8. My quinceanera, Frieza argued, neither noticing the sudden power increase until they seen the bodies and rubble rise up and spin like a tornado around Kaizen. As his hair started to turn blood red with black streaks, his eyes turned pale green with no pupils, and his aura swished around him as he gazed at the Cold family. Well then, shall we begin? But the others? Who is this guy? His strength is unreal, it's stronger than Goku, Krillin asked, shaking a bit. That's Kaizen, another Saiyan like me, Kakarot, Vegeta, and my Midora-chan, Blady. They heard and turned around to see Naruto and Midora sitting down on the giant rock behind them with smirks on their faces. Nah. Naruto, why are you here? I thought you were in your world for a tournament, Gohan asked, getting a chuckle from the redhead. Yes, but you see, my planet has come down with a terrible case of explosions. So basically I blew up the planet, Naruto said and turned his eyes back toward the fight. Back to the fight. Those eyes. That emotionless face Frieza said, then remembered a memory of Goku with the same face. Frieza no kill. Destroy, murder. Exterminate he said and created a massive ball of Kai that resembled the sun. Frieza, stop it, you'll kill us both, King Cold responded. This one is for you, father, Frieza shouted and threw the sphere down to Kaizen while laughing like a madman. Frieza laughed until his father spoke. Alright, get down here, I'm going to call Space AAA and have them tow us back, thank you very much, since this planet will burst soon. The two started to leave until they saw the sphere stop and slowly rise. Nansinganyama Bajithi Baba. Sithi Uminganyama. Nansinganyama Bajithi Baba. Frieza, what did you do, daddy? Not now, Frieza interrupted as the Kai sphere raised completely to see Kaizen holding up Frieza supernova with one hand and a smirk on his face. Hey Frieza, thanks for a new attack, now take it back, Kaizen said and flared his Kai, allowing the sphere to turn a blood red and black color. Emperor's Nova, the ash-haired Saiyan said and threw the blast at the Cold family. No you don't, you maggot, both father and son said and sent a Kai wave destroying the sphere, neither noticing Kaizen's disappearance. You see son, that is true power of the Cold race, King Cold said arrogantly. Oh, is that so, Cold team? King Cold turned around to see Kaizen standing behind him with his fist beeped back. You and your son have ruined the lives of many in the name of all those who perish, I sentence you to hell, Kaizen spoke and punched King Cold in his back and watched as a torrent seafoam green flames erupted from the king's chest, burning him into nothing. Father. You damn monkey, Frieza shouted and was about to attack until his head was cut off his body. Thank God, I thought this brat would never shut up, the unknown female voice said, making Kaizen turn around to see a pink humanoid figure. She wore a purple, black and gold vest that covered her upper chest, black and purple gauntlets, white baggy pants with a black belt with a wicked M design. Black leg guards with a purple line and black boots, her eyes were black with red iris glowing as if she was glaring at your soul, and black pupil. Her was spiked all the way down to her back with 5 bangs going toward the left and 2 long head tentacles going down to her legs. My thank you, Saiyans, and I could have taken Frieza and his father separately, but not at the same time, as well as the spell I have placed on me from being sold, the female said and crushed Frieza's head, then sent a Kai blast and destroyed Frieza's body to ashes. By the look of it, and if that M has anything to go by, you are from the Majin race. Tell me, Majin-san, what is your name? Kaizen said, folding his arms. It is quite rude not to mention who you are first, Saiyan-san, and I mean all 3 of you, she said with a small smirk, which made Kaizen and his 2 tenants smirk as well. As you wish, Majin-chan, my name is Kaizen Kazuki along with Kurama and Son Goku. I am a Saiyan originally from planet Vegeta, then shipped to a planet that no longer exists. Eliam, your turn. Kaizen said, getting into a relaxed position. Majin Reina, I am from the Majin planet before I was banished and sold to King Cold. Now Kaizen-kun, who is that one behind the cliff? Reina spoke, then pointed. Your guess is as good as mine. Hey, you get out here, Yoneric and Madara, get your boo-loving asses here, Kaizen yelled and waited until the two finally descended and looked toward the cliff as a man walked from, had purple hair that separated at the middle. He wore a black tank top under a blue denim jacket with black pants with yellow boots, with black ends on his back was a broadsword inside a red orange sheath. Who are you? Madara said, activating her sharingan. My name is Trunks, I can show you all where Kakarot is going to land. The man now known as Trunks said, not being affected by Madara gaze. I see, well then Kaizen, you got Frieza and his father, I got Kakarot, though I'm curious by the way you are not backing away from Madara's sharingan and the faint trace of chakra it seems you know of us, Naruto spoke, examining the kid from his spot. I'll explain everything once Kakarot lands. To San Madara Koch and Kaizen Oji San Reina Aba San he, Naruto's son, he doesn't respect Goku Earth name, spoke, causing their eyes to bug the size of dinner plates and them to say one word as loud as possible. I'll explain later, call them and follow me, Trunks said and flew off, followed by Kaizen and Reina, who holding Kaizen's hand due to the magic on her, then Madara and Naruto. After they told the others, well, the pods went after as well. 20 miles later. It has been near 2 hours waiting for Goku to arrive. During the time the Z warriors were talking amongst themselves, Vegeta was sitting on a rock glaring at Naruto, Kaizen, Trunks, and Madara. Naruto and Madara were talking with Trunks while Kaizen was talking with Reina until Trunks' watch went off and spoke. Alright, Kakarot will be arriving at any moment now, so look out for him. Everyone was looking around until they spotted a Saiyan pod coming down and slam into the ground. The pod then began to open to reveal Earth's champion Son Goku. "Guys, we don't have time, Frieza about tea." He was interrupted by cheers from his friends, which made him confused. "Hey guys, what happened to Frieza?" Goku asked and watched as everyone pointed to Kaizen and Reina, who the former was grabbing his arms, almost strangling them. "Kakarot, Kakarot, Kaizen," yelled, clenching his teeth and keeping his position, but calmed when Reina placed her hand on his shoulder. How do you my Saiyan name?" Goku asked seriously. "Don't worry about that, Kakarot, worry about who is going to attack you," Madara said. "What do you mean, Kakarot, Kakarot?" As soon as the words left his mouth, Naruto charged at him with his sharingan, spinning wildly. "Kakarot, Kakarot," Naruto yelled as he punched Goku straight into the ground, making a huge crater. "What the Naruto, what are you doing?" The Z fighters yelled at the multi-haired Tien. Krillin and Yamcha were about to interfere until a large purple Kai blast blocked them off, causing them to look at Kaizen, who was glaring with his left eye, which was red with a black slit pupil, and the right, which was his Mangekyo, activated and spinning. "What the hell, how can you let this happen?" Yamcha yelled at Kaizen, who didn't let up his glare at them. "If any of you interfere, I will not hesitate," Kaizen said as Madara jumped next to him. "Come on guys, there's only two, they can't stop us, all," Yamcha told the others, who apparently lost their will to live, nodded and charged at the two Saiyans. "Well, you called it all your Madara, I'm going to let my Haims out," Kaizen said and walked toward his pod. "Shame, really, you all seem to lost your sense of fear, allow me to be the one to re-establish those fears," Madara said and charged the Earthlings and Namekian. "Naruto, that's your name, right? What are you doing?" Goku asked, stand in the crater, seeing Naruto fly down with a hateful glare and his sharingan glowing to life while spinning with a slit pupil. His whiskers were darker and more refined, his canines grow a bit longer, along with his with dark red violent chakra seeping through his teeth as he breaths. "I hate you. I hate you, Kakarot. All four of us were born on the same day, yet you of all of us never had, no, never will go through what we did," Naruto said and appeared in front of Goku and punched him in his chest, sending him flying, then appeared behind the Saiyan Earthling and kneed him in his spine and grabbed his neck, then turned him around. "You were not stabbed as a baby for having a high power level because of a scared B-Pass king," Broly, Naruto yelled and punched him in the stomach, making Goku cough up blood. "You were not sent to a planet and became a weapon and have your real self sealed by force," Naruto, he yelled again and punched Goku in the face. "You did not lose the one person who saw you as family to become a weapon by force," Kaizen, Naruto said and kneed Goku in the stomach, then threw him and held out his hand. "Tell me what makes you so different, you that you never had to suffer like us, tell me," he yelled and pulled his hand back as a sphere of red Kai and purple chakra formed. "Phantom Kamehameha," Naruto yelled and launched a blast at Goku, sending the grown Saiyan into the earth. Naruto was about to fly in the hole until yellow Kai shot through the hole. "That's enough," Goku yells and flying out to reveal himself in his Super Saiyan form, glaring at Naruto. "Is that supposed to scare me, wimp? You can only go Super Saiyan, allow me to show you how weak you are compared to a true Saiyan. What you see is my normal state," Naruto yelled and entered his Super Saiyan form, causing Goku and the others to be in shock. "This is my Super Saiyan state now." Naruto Kai raised as his hair became spiked up more, leaving only two bangs. His muscles became more bulky, but still lean, and red lightning dancing around him. "This is what's known as a Super Saiyan that is ascended past, or you can call this Super Saiyan 2, only I and Kaizen and Madara have reached this level. You see, the gap is beyond your power when I went Super Saiyan now, and this is to go even further beyond." "Hi, Naruto," yells as his Kai explodes, sending shock waves, rubble and dust everywhere. "Special beam cannon," Piccolo shouted and shot a spiral Kai wave from his middle and index fingers at Madara, who dodged it with little effort and slammed her gun by in Krillin's face as he tried to attack from the side. "HMPH, is this all you have? Your dancing is garbage," Madara commented and threw Krillin into Yamcha and jumped high in the air. "Hayden Hanu no Hana flame flower," she shouted and unleashed 5 meteor-sized fireballs at the Z warriors. "Oh shit, Kami ha," Krillin chanted and launched a Kamehameha wave at 2 of the fireballs, destroying them. "Light grenade," Piccolo shouted and launched an attack at 2 more, along with Yamcha and Tien, destroying the last, leaving nothing but a heavy cloud of smoke. "Where is she?" Tien asked, looking around. "Who care, come on, we got to go help Gokak." Yamcha was interrupted by a bicep slamming into his neck, sending him into a cliff. "You know, when Naruto gave me my eyes back from that weakling Nagato, I thought his path idea was stupid. Why hide yourself when you could have warriors meet 5 of the 9 Jinchuriki and 1 old hosts?" The smoke cleared to see Kurabi, Ujito, Yugurafu, Kushina and Utakata, all with a Rinnegan and a tail of their beast waving behind them. "What are you? How are you doing?" Tien asked. "HMHM simple, I have the powers of Kami where I am from now, drown in despair. This is the power of Madara Uchiha, divine power," she spoke and charged the Z warriors with her paths when they stopped and felt the ground shaking. "Hi." They all turned to see Naruto pouring out unbelievable power as the ground broke, then flew up as rubble and dust spun around Naruto like a tornado, and they watch as the clouds in the sky get pulled toward him. Well, it appears my Naru is going to his final transformation, Super Saiyan 3, she said, causing the Z warriors Gohan, Vegeta and Bulma to look at her bug-eyed. Super Saiyan ... Bree Gohan repeated, how I thought it was only Super Saiyan, but there's more than one transformation. Madara chuckled at the half-breed's question. Of course my Naruto can use 3 while me and Kaizen can use 2, but in theory we believe there is more. She spoke and watched as Naruto ascended to the next level. Play disturbed, so what you waiting for? I, Naruto shouted as his hair turned silver with red and blonde streaks that spiked down to his lower back, his muscle bulked up and his eyebrows burned off, though no one could see it due to the tornado. They knew it wasn't good. Hi Naruto yelled as his Kai exploded, causing rubble and dust to shoot everywhere, blocking everyone's vision. As the dust cleared, they seen a long spiky silver-haired Naruto with red and blonde streaks, one bang hanging, and 2 red spike strands standing up, making it look like horns. His eyes were crimson red with slit pupils, and his sclera was pitch black, making his eyes more menacing. His muscles were a bit bigger than earlier, and his eyebrows were burned off, his tail was silver, and his whiskers were darker and more profound, and his canines reached his bottom lip, making him look like a demon, as red and black lightning raced around him fiercely. So what you waiting for? So what you waiting for? Sorry it took so long. I haven't had much practice with this form in the last year. Now let me show you the power of a Saiyan. Naruto spoke in a demonic voice, then jumped onto a high cliff, with Goku doing the same, glaring at each other. When the wind stopped, both flew at each other. Only the Z warriors Gohan, Vegeta, Madara and Kaizen can't see Goku struggling. I have never compromised. I never gave in. And so I have welcomed every challenge in my life. And I have never wandered blind. I'm led by hunger. And so I savor every drop each minute I'm alive. Goku appears trying to kick Naruto, only for the Super Saiyan 3 to grab his foot, then spin him around and tossed him. Naruto then appeared behind Goku and kicked him in the ack, sending the Saiyan toward the ground. Leave nothing left behind. Goku recovered and tried to punch and kick Naruto, but he dodged effortlessly, then jumped behind Goku and kicked him. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. Don't stand by and deny it. Goku flew at Naruto and tried to land a hit, but was unable to touch the, then disappeared and appeared behind Goku, backhanded him, sending the Super Saiyan flying. Naruto pointed a finger at Goku's direction, and black with a blue outline sphere forms while Goku recovered quickly and cupped his hand together. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. Break new ground and defy it. Hiya. Me. Hiya. Me. Don't let the world outside leave you cornered and alone. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. Let them all be reminded. Grayson Siro Ascuras. Naruto spoke quietly and launched a large spiral black beam with a blue outline at Goku, who finished charging his attack. Hey Aya, Goku yelled and launched his attack. The blast collided with Goku struggling and Naruto not being phased. You lose Kakarot, Naruto said, and pushed more power in his attack, allowing it to swallow up Goku's Kamehameha wave and exploding. Naruto stood still for a minute before he brought his elbow back, quick bashing Goku in the face. Don't let them undermine. Your dreams can never be stolen. Naruto tried to kick Goku in the ribs, but the Super Saiyan jumped Goku, then tried to punch Naruto but made a fatal mistake. He looked into the multi-hair Saiyan's eyes. Naruto used Goku's mistake and punched him to the ground. Don't leave them stagnant, rotting on the vine. Say goodbye to anyone who tries. As Goku bounced off the ground, Naruto ran at him and kicked him farther, then appeared in front of him and let loose a barrage of punches. To bleed you dry, you will show them. You're blessed with an unlimited supply. Goku recovered and used his instant transmission to try to attack Naruto, but the Super Saiyan 3 blocked it with his hand. Leave nothing left behind. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. Don't stand by and deny it. The two collided in a barrage of punches until Naruto got the upper hand and aimed for the Super Saiyan face, making him fly into a cleft. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. Break new ground and defy it. Don't let the world outside leave you cornered and alone. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. Let them all be reminded. Naruto flew into the air and flashed through hand signs and breathed in Kaiten rain. Note Tsukiko Mamasu. Blazing lion pursuit. Naruto shouted and exhaled a large torrent of flames. The flames then twisted and morphed into a large 20-feet lion roaring at the heavens themselves, then rushed at Goku at insane speed, not even he could follow, until the lion rammed into his stomach and exploding in a large tornado of flames. HMPH pathetic, I didn't need to go 20% against you, Naruto spoke as he powered down and watched as the flames dispersed and watched as Goku fell to the ground with burn markings on him. Goku the Z warriors yelled as Madara let them pass to check on their friend. "You bastard, what's the big deal? What did he ever do to you, Yamcha?" Yelled at Naruto, who said nothing but walked toward Madara and kissed her on the lips, which she happily accepted. 2chan, not that I want to interrupt or anything, but can we address the reason I'm here now with Kakarot and Uncle Trunks, whispered to Naruto, who nodded and went to fetch Kaizen. Wait, what about Goku? Tien spoke and Madara answered. If the moron, damn those damn magic shits you have, Baldy. As the words left her mouth, Krillin and the other's face vaulted at the simple answer. Krillin then got up and fetched a senzu bean from his pocket and fed it to Goku, who healed up in an instant but glared at Naruto as he returned with Kaizen and Victoria. Sorry about the last chapter with the wrong name, forgive me, along with 7 others. Tsunade Enko Hinata Kurenai Me Tayuya, and I decided to give Naruto Samui. What was the big deal? Goku could have been killed, Yamcha spoke, but quickly shut up when Kaizen glared at him and spoke. Keep talking and I will kill you, weakling. Kaizen, Madara, Naruto and Victoria turned their attention to Trunks, who motioned for them and Goku to follow. After getting away from the rest of the group, Trunks spoke. As you can probably guess, I am from the future, a dark future, and I came to warn you. In order to save it 3 years from now, 2 powerful creatures will be created by a madman with a desire to rule the world. The 2 creatures are a pair. They're androids. In my time they kill everyone: Vegeta, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, Gohan, Chichi, everyone but me and my mother, who escaped father and Madara Koch, and you 2 do as well, but you were in space at the time. Well, Kaizen, Oji and Victoria Aba were at Victoria's homeworld when you came back and were informed of the details. Kaizen Oji tried to defeat them after learning of my other Aba-chan's death, but was killed for letting his Biju and rage consume him. After that, Victoria Aba-chan solitude herself. Dusan, after you learned of my other Kachan's death, you suffered a disease as well as Kakarot and died, while Madara Kachan went to kill them, only to come back with 1 arm and her right sharingan missing, which the female implanted and used as a toy. At the end of his story, Naruto and Kaizen growled for being done in too early and by their opinion stupid reasons. Victoria was pissed that they killed Kaizen in the future, and Madara was pissed that they not only took her arm but stole her eye as a toy. A toy. But there's good news to me coming back. Me and Kachan made these medicine that cures the diseases. The future child spoke, giving Naruto and Goku the medicines which they tucked away. So we have 3 years to train and destroy these androids to save your future, Musuko, son. Good, I can never have a great challenge besides Kaizen and your father, plus I want to kill the one who will take my eye, Madara said with extreme amount of glee at hoping to get new challenges, while Kaizen and Victoria were supporting emotionless faces. They knew these years would be trouble but wanted to fight as well. Naruto nodded, as well as Goku. Well, that's it, I should be back before they arrive in 3 years, Trunks spoke, and the future Saiyan left. Goku went over to his friends, mostly to avoid the 3 Saiyans and 1 Majin, who paid him no mind, only looking at each other and thinking. This is going to be fun. Earth 1 year later. So let me get this straight, you all, which one of you Naruto despises more than me and the brat we tolerate decided to take me from my wives and girlfriend along with my son Zuko while I was relaxing with said son, all for a camping trip, and because Dumbus wants me to with spar him after he gets fish. Am I missing anything? Kaizen asked, irritated, while holding a baby boy with dark brown hair and ash gray streaks wrapped in a dark blue. 4 months ago, May had given birth to twins, a boy and girl. The daughter she named Azula, and the boy Kaizen named Zuko. Kurenai, Hinata and Anko were also pregnant, with Anko being due in 2 months thanks to her sneaking sparring sessions. Kaizen was putting Zuko to sleep in his house when 2 orange, 1 purple and 1 pink blur appeared, grabbed him and vanished. Kaizen realized these idiots had literally just kidnapped him and his son, leaving Kaizen pissed. Oh come on Kaizen, if we asked you, you would say no, plus it's good to get the baby out of the house. Speaking of which, whose baby is it? Krillin spoke, trying to quell a pissed Kaizen and trying to come up for a story for him over cooking the pork. First off, I was fine and not whipped unlike you. Second, this is Mayheim's child, his twin Azula is at home. Kaizen set his attention on the infant as he shoots sparks and wisps from his fist. Is he shooting fire from his hands? Gohan asked in shock, never seeing that happen to anyone before. Hi, it's a KKGENKAI bloodline limit, my droid created for me. It's my mage Kasai, firebending, though it appears my kids didn't have to go through the awakening effect. Lucky Gakkus, Bratz. Kaizen spoke with a bit of envy in his voice. Remembering when he first unlocked it, it felt like his body was being melted alive, then reconstructed, only to not being able to move for a week out of just moving would cause large fire attacks to shoot everywhere. Kaizen's eyes quickly changed into the sharingan, and then a clone rose from the ground and took hold of Zuko, the original Kaizen, then shot a quick eye blast towards Gohan. As it zoomed past the halfling, it hit a large green man with spiky long black hair and Saiyan armor with an extended right shoulder plate. Alright Hulk, reject. You got 5 seconds to either explain why or here or get the funk out of this planet, Kaizen spoke, then his pupil inside the sharingan turned to a slit as dark red, almost black bubbly chakra appeared around him, forming a cloak. Two arms then shot out, launched at Krillin and Gohan, grabbing them just in time, but not grabbing Oolong, allowing him to get captured by a dino-looking humanoid with Saiyan armor, along with a pot of food filled with the pork he got from Eliam. It then clicked in his head, and the chakra arms grip tightened on Gohan and Krillin. "You funkers took my damn pork when we were bringing the damn pig. You know I can no longer get that special kind of pork anymore after blowing up Eliam," Kaizen shouted, full of rage, debating on whether to use Tsukiyomi, Moon Reader, on them or the alien squad. "Well monsieur, if that pisses you off then this definitely will. As a space Frenchman I find this food completely detestable. This pork is completely overcooked," the most flamboyant looking member spoke, which made Kaizen decided Tsukiyomi on them. "Funk the squad right now." Sending a quick nod to the clone, he brought Krillin close to him and Gohan to the clone, their sharingan spinning Tsukiyomi. They said, knocking out the two. Then the clone used Kamui, authority of the gods, to send them to his pocket dimension. Then said clone vanished with Zuko in a swarm of bats as a Kai blast was shot at them. "You know I can tolerate a lot, but not the following. A old ass bitch with back pains, a village that spited me, all for beasts, no guardians, protectors are sealed in me. A duck ass emo with a brother and superior complex, my shit getting taken by any funking body, my food being overcooked, and people who try to kill my children." Bin Fun, Kaizen said, and made a half tiger hand sign. Pain. Goryuka Tatsumaki no Jutsu. Fire style. Dragon flame tornado technique. Kaizen spoke and blew out a large serpentine dragon made of fire. The dragon flew and span around all three of them, dragging Oolong in the process. Seeing as Krillin funked his pork, the Saiyan ninja felt he deserves it. The dragon spun faster and faster, causing a tornado of flames to form, burning the grunts and the pig. The dragon then emerged from the tornado and dived into the ground and emerged from the opposite side. It had done this several times until there was a dome of fire under the tornado. The tornado still stabilized. Kaizen flew up to the top of the tornado as a small black ball of chakra formed in his hand, turning his open hand toward the opening of the tornado. The ball grew bigger to the size of a volleyball. "Vanish worms, B+ Ju Damas said, and threw it into the tornado, causing a giant explosion. Kaizen landed and sent someone, but soon recognized it as dumbass Kakarot. "Cause, what happened?" Kakarot asked, causing Kaizen to glare at him and said, "First off, you ignorant funk, don't ever in your life call me that again. Second, I just burnt and killed 3 freaky alien genotypes and a pig, then trapped your son and bald funk in my Kamui dimension, along with funking up their minds." Kaizen, that is not very Paragon, Goku told him. Kaizen activated his Manjikam and glared at the Saiyan as black flames sprouted around him. "Renegade for life. Anyway, I'm pretty sure who sent them will come soon. I don't have time for these games, deal with it. I'll send your friend and kid home, and I'm eating the pig you funks owe me," he said, walking away, grabbing Oolong, then blasted the 3 guys' heads off just to be sure and faded into the ground. East City. "Hinata-chan, why did you and Bulma drag me to go shopping?" Madara asked the two strangely. She did enjoy the time so far, but this is very new to her. Hell. Friends are still new to her. Hinata she can only relate a little to, which isn't much, but it was a start. "Because you may be a Saiyan but you can still have fun, and we'll be damned if you end up like Naruto and Kaizen. It was only by luck we got Kaizen to watch Zuko-chan. It took a week to get him to stop. Once we brought Zuko he crashed for it," Hinata said and giggled. "Naruto is worse, you know Hinata, you should see how he would barely sleep, always training. Trunks and Benham play with his tail while he mind trains or use shadow clones. Don't get Madara on Izuna, Indra, and Itachi triplets, and she can still go this strong. I'm actually jealous of Saiyans." Bulma said, a dark cloud forming over her head, causing the others to sweat drop. "Niji is a handful. To he going to be a fighter like his father, even though Nijiki named him after her." Hinata chuckled, then stopped and turned her head to see, only to see Bulma and Madara frozen. She turned over in shock to see a figure before ice on the floor had frozen over her, and she blacked out. "Good little princess, you are useful." Central City. People are walking around and what seems like an average day. Suddenly a red and white flash crashes through a few buildings with a red and black rocket following it, and echo sounds of punches can be heard as the building comes crumbling down. As the building collapsed, 2 figures stand across from each other in the smoke. When the smoke cleared, it reveals Naruto, and across from him is a pale-skinned man wearing a long white robe. He has short spiked pale orange hair and a short beard. His robe had Magatama on its collar and back. Also on his back was a symbol of an eye with a ripple pattern which was supported in his actual 3 eyes, and behind was a staff with 2 ends, one looked like the sun, the other like a crescent moon. Along with 9 black spheres. "I could have sworn we killed all you funkers, Hagoromo, and you were dead years ago. How the hell are you alive and younger?" "Damn it," Naruto shouted at the shinobi god. "Don't worry about that, Naruto. You and Kaizen will pay for destroying our planet." Hagoromo shouted, charging at Saiyan, who dodged him. "Oh you lousy hypocrite, that whole world was destroying itself. We ended it early. We could have just killed you all and sold the damn rock. Hell, we gave y'all peace. But funk peace," Naruto stated and kicked Hagoromo in the ribs, sending him into the ground. Hagoromo responded by sending the Jito Dama at him. Naruto dodged almost too late, taking notice they're faster than they are supposed to be. He didn't have time to think as they came back and he blasted them at close proximity, causing him to get caught in the blast. Is that all he really had? That felt too easy, Naruto spoke, but soon thrusted his elbow back, nailing Hagoromo in the stomach. Naruto then delivered a spin kick, but Hagoromo caught the Saiyan's foot and slammed him into a build and weaved hand signs Suiten Suryuiten no Jutsu said as a water dragon appeared from the atmosphere and charged into the building, sending Naruto flying out. The Saiyan recovered and charged the shinobi god. Hagoromo saw this and tried to intercept him, only for the Saiyan to vanish before Hagoromo was sent flying by a kick to the head. You know, Hagoromo, as fun as it would have been to fight when I was younger, I'm beyond your level. Even if you use the Jbai. Naruto cupped his hands and brought them to his side. Red Kai sphere with a black center formed as he started chanting Ka. Me. Aim. Hagoromo under the rubble smirked and roared as Silver Kai exploded from his body, creating a giant Kai wave, destroying everything around as he stood. He brought his hands back and Silver Kai formed around them. He threw a barrage of punches as the Kai shot out, forming fist all aimed for Naruto's 6 paths. Punishment of the divine Ha. Naruto shouted and fired his Kamehameha wave, colliding with the fists, but was getting pushed back inch by inch. Live it up, Naruto, we've been at this for hours. My race is stamina, plus my enhancements, I can fight for days straight. I will kill you for the pain you have caused. Will you shut up? I'm not even trying. You never seen me even in Super Saiyan. You think my blood will allow me to fall to an inferior being? As you fool, I am a warrior. As he said this, his Kai spiked and the Kamehameha pushed the fist back, but then exploded. Uses this distraction, he created a pair of 2 different clones and sent one toward Hagoromo, while the last clone and original flew down. Ugh, you have got to be kidding me. Let's see Cooler's squad. Check. Gonna bet Brother Tampon is pissed. We killed his baby beak sucker. 8 chakra signatures. Check. Gonna figure how that's possible as the alternate planet isn't that advanced, and plus we're on good terms. Questions for later. Kaizen spoke as he flew toward 2 signatures that the other 6 were converging to. Father, he's alive. How? Shouted the dark red almost black 9-tailed fox in Kaizen mind. I don't know, you lived for what, thousands of years on Elium? You tell me. More important, how the funking hell he got here. The Saiyan mentally shouted at the fox. Bidge. Not hearing an answer, the Saiyan shinobi cut the connection and transformed into a Super Saiyan. It was then he felt a large spike of power and rushed over to see a blinding light. As the light faded, he saw a man with long red-orange-haired man with black and blonde streaks. He had 2 fox ears, 2 dark red eyes. He was wearing a dark gray vest with orange outlines, a red sash, white baggy pants with black combat boots. Behind him was 9 slim trimmed fox tails almost resembling monkey tails. The man looked at Hagoromo, who finished taking care of the clones. He jumped up and vanished, leaving only a red streak behind. Hagoromo looked around but couldn't find him. Then he felt a large pain and suddenly was thrown through several buildings. Is that all you have, Hagoromo, or should I say father? The man said. Take this, I am the fusion between Kurama and Naruto. You can call me Naraku, Naraku said. Hearing someone land, he turned to see Kaizen. The other Saiyan was about to speak when 6 voices made themselves known. The fusion between a Saiyan and Biju. Your race is truly a sight. A female voice spoken. Yes, grandmother, but we still have business here. Niacin is right, Bachan. Elium will be avenged. 2 young males of the group said to the older woman. To think these 2 battle-hungry mortals ruined so much. Lord Mamashiki, a heavy-set man, said to the smaller skinner man next to him who was covered by a veil. You 2 will pay for destroying my brother's world. Now face the whole Otsutsuki clan. The last man spoke, showing the people to be Kagaya, the original Indra, Ashura, Kinshiki, Mamashiki, and Homura. Don't ask about Taneri, so he's still dead. Wait, the woman, fat ass, and midget. I can understand how they are not dead, but how did you other 4 get the funk here and come back to life? Kaizen asked, feeling irritated he was being put off on his question too long, but finally the rabbit goddess spoke for him. Wish granting orbs from a green planet of slugs from in our universe. We told them we want revenge on who destroyed our world, and they agreed. Mamashiki and Kagaya said, we'll explain next chapter. Okay, note to self, blow up Namek, those beepless lugs just sealed themselves. Naraku spoke, looking at Kaizen to see him thinking on the same lines. Okay, bullshit aside, do you think you all will carry out this pathetic vendetta? Kaizen said and teleported next to Mamashiki, then delivered a vicious kick to the side of his head, sending him into Kineshiki, knocking them both to the ground. Feeling 3 chakra spikes, he noticed Hagoromo and Indra power up a complete Susanoo and Ashura in his chakra mode. Naraku cracked a smirk looking at the 3. Well, I can't lie, your chakra isn't much, but it's the fact I can't sense your Kai signatures makes this boring. Kaizen spoke. Don't underestimate them, they can use Kai to a good degree, but I can't sense them. Naraku retorted. I gave them God Kai, but it's weak. I have a good reason, but only Kagaya, Homura, Hagoromo, Kagaya, Mamashiki, Kineshiki have it, Sidra level, Hagoromo and Homura half of God Kai. Naraku watched as Hagoromo and Indra swung their swords, attempting to slice Naraku, only for the fusion to grab the giant blade and with a wicked smile broke the blades and sent two Kai waves at both Otsutsukis, blasting them out their respective Susanus. More, give me more. He yelled as he dodged giant Truthseeker orbs. Deactivating his chakra mode, Ashura flew at Naraku with his brother and father, all throwing punches and kicks at the fusion, who weaved through the attacks with ease, before delivering a punch to the father and eldest Otsutsuki and driving his knee into the youngest one. Stomach then struck him with his 9 tails, sending him into his family. You all been giving the ability of Kai, yet you're still on LUM fighter level. As I am concerned, only Midget and Fattest got decent power. Kaizen said, trading blows with Kagaya, and the two Shikis, both Saiyans, wondered why Himura hasn't moved or tried anything, but decided to deal with him last. You foolish mortals, we are gods, how dare you mock us. Mama Shiki yelled, gods please, I don't care if you owned an entire universe, I bow to no one. Kaizen yelled and transformed into his SSJ state. Shove your god complex up your asses, he said, punching Mama Shiki into Kineshiki, then cupped both hands together as dark red Kai energy, with a black center formed in between. Kamehameha the 10th. Kaizen yelled and launched his attack at the two. Mama Shiki was able to dodge the attack with ease. Kinshiki stooped in the air, and as the attack closed in, he was enshrouded by purple aura, and the Kamehameha the 10th glowed the same color before it disintegrated into nothing like it never existed. You won't touch me, mortal, Kinshiki said, cracking his neck knuckles. What the hell was that? I couldn't sense his Kai or chakra in it. Kaizen thought, shocked. Obito is on a new level, careful, aura could mean death, Yami Kurama said. No. I never knew that, I miss on, mentally retorting. Kaizen went back into his stance. Think Broly first movie on the lake with both hands in a fist. He activated his dead bone pulse, allowing bone spikes to come out his back, like Kimimaro curse mark stage 2 from his shoulder blades to his tail, along with bones protruding from his wrist. Really now, I can't say I'm impressed with your performance. Indra and my son was named after you, pathetic, and you sure are worse. But Hagoromo, I know you're holding back, and that disgusts me. Do I have to kill your kids for you? Threats? Is that all? Hagoromo retorted, and stood. The same purple aura that appeared on Kinshiki reared its head again. Hagoromo Rinnegan had taken a darker purple tint, as did the Rin symbol on his forehead. His Jito Dama also had a purple aura along too, with purple Kai rings spinning around it in a X formation. Hagoromo vanished with Naraku following suit. Sounds of flesh hitting flesh and booms were all that could be heard as explosions, orange, silverish, white, purple, Kai, shockwaves, and lightning danced across the sky. The two brothers tried waiting for an opening to join their father. They thought they saw one and rushed into the battle. As the two closed in, Hagoromo noticed Naraku grin looking over, seeing his sons. He tried warning them, but Naraku's fist reached his throat before he was sent flying by a kick. Naraku quickly turned as the two were about to deliver a punch. Using his tails, he grabbed Ashura and brought his hand back, infusing aura with it, taking off Indra's head, then kicking his body away as Ashura cried out for his brother. You bastard, oh my god, do you ever just shut up? A bastard, huh? Nah, I'm pure, unadulterated, baddest. Naraku interrupted and tosses the brat to the ground. Alright, now that the children are gone, how about we tend to the elderly? He spoke. He soon took notice. Hagoromo vanished, the funkity go. Shouting, but his senses screamed for him to move. He followed them just in time to dodge 3 Jito Dama aimed for him. I think we played long enough, Hagoromo spoke, his voice laced with malice as his Rinnegan suddenly glowed a deep red. Well then, if you insist. Hi, and Naraku screamed as his kids roared like a large violent fire of orange and silver. Suddenly the silver took a red tint as the orange turned gold. His hair grew longer, reaching down his back as it was silver with blonde and red streaks. 2 bangs stood up like horns as his eyebrows vanished. His sclera turned black, and he gained fangs and claws, as well as dark markings around his eyes like Kurama. His tail swayed behind him as he smirked. Oh sorry, I guess you aren't trash after all. Naraku said, you killed my son. I'll never forgive you, Kurama, you killed your own brother, Hagoromo shouted, and are you just as disappointed as I am? Puff beta male anyway. Naraku vanished and appeared, pulling his arm back, delivering punches towards Hagoromo. Kidney punch. Kidney punch, kidney punch, kidney punch, kidney punch, kidney punch, and pause, arm shot, he said, using his last punch to dislocate Hagoromo arm. Naraku let Hagoromo go and held his hand out. Zero, a dark blue sphere gathered in his palm and unleashed a large and powerful beam at Hagoromo. I see how you were able to defeat my little brother Frieza and my soldiers, but don't think that will be enough for me. Filthy monkey. Cooler spoke, having fought Goku for a while. After questioning why his men were taking so long, he originally felt another strong energy, but it vanished before he arrived and noticed his men were killed. Well, honestly, my buddy Kaz killed your friends. He does that a lot, apparently, like really a lot more than Vegeta. A lot. He killed some civilians, this giant raccoon, his leader, his whole planet, your brother's soldiers, your brother, your dad and your men, Goku said, stared at the man a moment before compassing himself. Well then, while we're on the subject, let's kill you. Cooler went into a horse stance and his Kai exploded as he transformed into his final form. Tonight I'd dine on monkey soup. With that remark, the giant frost demon charged at Goku. Goku was quickly put on the defensive and struggling to match the elder frost demon. Goku looked fasted and found an opening which he delivered and strong gut punch into Cooler to get space. Using his time, he activated the Kaioken X20, then cupped his hands and brought them to his hip as he chanted. Ha. Me. Ha. Me. Ha. Goku then unleashed a medium-sized Kamehameha wave at Cooler, who only flew into the blast and appeared halfway out and sent a jaw-breaking punch to Goku, sending him into a cliffside which Cooler stomped him further into it. I've had enough games, monkey. You haven't proved a thing. You bested my brother for wasting my time. I'll destroy this mudball completely. Cooler spoke and flew toward the sky, raising his left hand as a giant sun made of Kai was created. Goku looked to see the ball and looked down in frustration. Everyone he cared about, his friends, his family, the people of Earth, this monster willing to end it all, and he doesn't care. Soon frustration turns into anger. Anger turns into power as his Kai shot out and switched between blue and golden, as well as his hair, as it spiked up his eyes turned seafoam green and his muscles bulked a bit. Son Goku turns SSJ, staring at the ball of burning Kai. He crouched and brought his hands back to his sides and thought. Hey, I hope Naruto doesn't know I copied this one. Take this, you monster. Adamarasen burst. Goku said as giant Rasengans formed, then they spun and stretched until they were large thin circles. The Saiyan then thrusted his hand forward, his right hand over his left. Two giant spiral beam erupted from them and combined into an even bigger spiral beam. Like Kefla, gigantic burst. Cooler, seeing the blast launched through his supernova in the nick of time as the two attacks converged and clashed, fighting for dominance. Hazen's fight. Hazens was sent flying and crashed into a few buildings. As he gets up, he thinks to his Biju. Damn it, what is that energy? Anything I send gets destroyed, and they can use it in many forms. TCH, just my luck. I agree, this situation is difficult. I realize now that energy is known as Hakai, energy of destruction. We Biju only have portion due to Shinju from Kagaya. But I have the most, though other me has some. I was made from the dark energy of Hakai from Shinju. I might have an idea, cause I refuse to lose to these bast. Before Kaizen could think, energy appeared behind him in the form of Kagaya, who shouted as he turned to her. Do you want your wives to die? Heavenly vacuum fist assault. Kagaya unleashed many large fists made of chakra, unleashing a barrage which sent Kaizen flying into a building. As he escapes the rubble, he sees the building he was in and those around started crumbling, then flying toward the sky at rapid speed. Looking up, Kaizen with a shock see a black ball with a yellow glowing outline, and everything was flying towards it. Kaizen flew towards Momoshiki and Kinshiki, who held their hands up, but he didn't get far as Kagaya portal appeared in front of him, transporting to the orb in the sky. Then multiple dark gray bones with wind chakra and Kai added to them shot out the portal and pierced Kaizen, nailing him to a piece of earth through his body. More large pieces of earth crashed into Kaizen and combined with the black ball. Kagaya, who appeared next to the two older Otsutsuki, unleashes wave after wave of black rods, while Kinshiki generated a white Kai ball the size of a soccer ball in his right hand. Take this, you filthy monkey. He threw the ball into the sphere as the last pieces combined, creating a giant ball of rock. Only thing you could hear is Kaizen's screams of pain. HM, pathetic vermin, to think you thought you could challenge God's ludicrous. Now that he is subdued, we can kill Naruto, and then both their wives and children. Momoshiki spoke. He then turned and started to walk towards Naruto's fight, but stopped. They all stopped when they felt a pulse. It was one, then two, then the sphere began to pulsate until it emitted a glow that resembled the moon. Momoshiki lifted his hand, which the clone moon responded by drifting from the planet slowly, but no one noticed. Kaizen stopped screaming. And then it hit them, a massive power spike that knocked the three Otsutsuki through several buildings, stopping near Naruto's fight, who stopped along with Hagoromo, who is on one knee. Naruto looked toward the moon replica and had a feeling what this power increase was. His feeling was proved correct when a massive primal roar shook the entire city. But the roar wasn't all, as a large amount of Kai broke out of the moon in shockwaves, deserting everything around, only for another shockwaves to bend reality and another to fix it. This went on for a bit. Think when Broly or Kale transformed, Naruto had a large smirk on his face, then soon turned into full-blown sinister laughing. Seems you made him mad, now that will kill you. Inside Kaizen's head. Angry? Why? Why? Do. I feel so weak to them. Zen. Key. Wire. Who's there? What's going on? Be subdued, now we can kill Naruto, then we kill their wives and children. A voice spoke on the outside, but it echoed throughout Kaizen's head. Hearing it repeat made him furious. These mongrels, these toothless worms, dare to threaten not only his friend's family, but his family, and that made him beyond angry. The Zen. Ache. My or. Victoria. Kaizen's body lit up with a golden outline glow. Kurenai, Anko. May Hinata. The golden outline shot out in an endless ocean of golden Kai as Kaizen's whole mindscape shook. Kaizen. Take my power. Kaizen recognized that voice and did what it told him as he drew on more of his power. Zuko Azula. Arg my wives, my children. I'll kill you all Otsutsuki. And with that the dam holding Kaizen power broke open and nothing could be seen but a white light as he emitted a primal roar that echoed through his mind. Outside, while that was going on in his head, Kaizen power increase could be felt skyrocketing again. The power he was emitting was so strong the clouds were moving toward the moon as if getting sucked in. Lightning broke through the moon in several areas, then danced around the moon cutting into it. With a final scream, Kaizen power broke apart the moon and blasted it away, creating a dust cloud. When the dust cleared, it showed Kaizen standing. He was still wearing his black guy pants with his boots, but his shirt was torn to shreds, but it was replaced by a dark red fur pelt wrapped around his waist with his tail. He had ancient looking marking like Hashirama and the others. He had long spiky magenta hair with black streaks and a large bang covering his left EYESSJ3, but with Madara bang. His eyebrows were gone and his eyes were glowing bright red. His aura was the same purple flame god Kai as the Otsutsuki, but with lightning and golden Kai dancing around him. He didn't move for a bit until a moment later he screamed to the heavens, creating a thin barrier, creating hundreds of purple and black Kai spheres shooting everywhere. Blaster meteor mixed with Beerus Hakai's blast, destroying a few building which turned into particles and vanished as if it never existed. Well, isn't this a new spec of things, but I'm going to assume you can do what they can. Naraku spoke out loud to Kaizen. Kaizen floated down a bit, checking his new form out. When Naraku finished, Kaizen looked toward Kineshiki and vanished. You think I will lose to some monkey? Hide me, coward. Kineshiki spoke, tossing Hakai blast at every building. He couldn't sense this energy and he knew it involved Hakai, but why couldn't he sense it, so he attacked everything. Hakai see, so like this Hakai. Kaizen spoke deeply into Kineshiki as he fell near his ear with a basketball-size Hakai blast in his hand, pointed at Kineshiki's side. Kaizen rammed the blast into Kineshiki. As the blast connected, Kineshiki body glowed and dispersed into tiny particles. Kaizen stood up and looked at Momoshiki, Kagaya, Hamura, Ashura and Hagoromo. So you punks have energy of destruction, now that's impressive. I assumed your bodies are similar to ours. Hehe, to think you all-powerful gods are nothing more than a wannabe Saiyan with destruction, Kaizen said calmly, watching Momoshiki squirm angrily. Oops, did I strike a nerve? Well, come, I want to put my new body to the test, he finished nonchalantly. But that was all it took as Momoshiki charged at him. Kaizen waited until Momoshiki got closer before teleporting behind him. A white light generated in Kaizen's mouth. He gave out a loud primal roar as the light turned into a gigantic purple beam that hit Momoshiki point blank. Broly's gigantic roar. No Kagaya. Momoshiki shouted to the other member as his body was obliterated. Kaizen stopped his attack and wiped his mouth with a smirk placed onto it. I'm shocked I had so much trouble with you at SSJ2, but this seems to be too easy. Should I power down? Kaizen asked innocently, causing everyone around to face fault at the dumb question. Naraku, who recovered first, went up to Kaizen and smacked him upside the head, which caused a mini argument between the two, which caused the remaining Otsutsuki to again face fault. I don't have time for this. Moving quickly, Naraku and Kaizen rushed at the Otsutsuki. Naraku cupped his hands back as he flew, charging up a black and white Kamehameha, while Kaizen had both hands stretched to the sides behind him, charging two pink-black Kai as he swirled around Naraku. When both Saiyans were close, they shot their hands forward and unleashed their respective attacks. Black Revenge, final Kamehameha. Launching their attacks, unleashing a large black pinkish-white beam with pink and white lightning and pink Kai swirling around it. Baby Revenge, Final Flash, and GB'(S) Goku Black, Super Black Kamehameha. Hamura and Ashura, who were the quickest to recover, put up two large Kai barriers, shielding in hopes of stopping the attack. Naraku watched as his clone and Kaizen attacked Otsutsuki. He noticed Kagaya get up and opened a portal quickly. Using Kamui, he connected with Kagaya and teleported with her to Iceland. Well, rabbit bitch, as much as I want to kick your teeth in, I only have 10 mins left, so let me make this as painful as possible before I multiply you. Naraku then rushed and sent a earth-shattering knee to Kagaya's stomach. She tried getting some distance, but the Saiyan bitch teleported in front of her to continue his assault. After a few blocks, Kagaya was able to get her distance and controlled the environment around her to attack the fusion. Flying at her, Naraku dodged the incoming ice spikes until 8 emerged simultaneously, trying to pin him. How quickly bravado goes out the window. Anything else before I multiply you? Kagaya asked. Yes. Does that third eye make you physic? Naraku asked. No, but it helps me see. Bullshit, Kagaya retorted. Really, let's fix that, ha. Naraku replied and broke out of the ice with ease, holding a small black book with an ape on it. You say bullshit, but looks like you have some required reading to do. He then tossed the book to her, allowing her to skim through it. Mankind class, full moons, stronger every time you're near death, all power levels are. Oh, shit, well. I'm funked aren't I, she asked nervously as sweat dropped. Right in down under, take it this way, this you're the first to see why I have the sharingan-Raku spoke, closing his eyes, channeling chakra to them. After a few seconds he snapped them open, revealing a pair blood red rin sharingans. What? How those eyes belong to only pure Otsutsuki, vermin Saiyan shouldn't have them, she spoke with venom, then begun to unleash wave after wave of bone spears, chakra fist and black rods at Naraku, had hopes to kill the man, but he simply put up a barrier as he walked toward her. Only a couple of minutes left, might as well torment her. I'm both Kurama and Naruto. Naruto was experimenting and cracked the DNA code, since he didn't need Uchiha from Kurama, all we needed was Senju and Uzumaki to make sure it was pure, and as it turned out it not only is compatible with Saiyan DNA, the Saiyan DNA completely mutates it to almost match, meaning Senju and Uzumaki could become a half Saiyan, and a Saiyan body would be more tougher, he said with his Rin Sharingan spinning lazily. If you doubt my eyes, let me prove it to you. With it he locked gazes with her and mentally smirked, knowing she thinks she won't be affected with what happens next. Divine Gain Jutsu. Forest of Reapers, Suiton. Kurigakur no Jutsu, summoning Justu Naraku spoke after trapping Kagaya in a large forest, as the ice whirled around vanished and a deep mist rolled in, suddenly eyes popped out all around watching Kagaya surrounding her. Then a large poof was heard and a giant beast with 3 pair of eyes looked down on her. A bit of the smoke cleared, but with the mist still in, it didn't help much. All she was able to make out was 3 heads and 4 legs. She barely managed to dodge when one head swooped down to eat her, but allowed Kagaya to see it was a giant dog's head. But the difference, this wasn't the Rinnegan dog summoning, this one was a summons. Even her, Hagoromo, and Hamura failed to find, much less complete its test. As standing over her hungry with the Saiyan on its middle head was none other than the guard dog of Hell, Cerberus. Its heads, legs, back, and tail were covered in volcanic rocks with blue lava coursing through, making its dark blue eyes with a small red was black and gray fur and a spiked skull collar around each neck. Its tail was a large anaconda with a bluish ink substance dripping from its mouth. A white light erupted from the middle head, revealing Naruto in his SSJ3 state, with his Rin Sharingan activated, standing next to a man with orange-red fox ears and spiky hair reaching his shoulders. He wore a dark red trench coat with a chain link connected around the hood's collar. He wore black shinobi pants with black Saiyan boots with red tip and black gloves, think of organization she coat. He opened his coat and threw it to the side, showing shirtless orange-red guy with a black Capsules Corporation symbol on the back and 9 fox tails swing behind him. Realizing this was the 9 tails in human form, Kagaya waited to see what was going on, while still paying attention to the other eyes around her. She didn't have to wait long as Kurama jumped down grinning at her. What will you do now? You think a standing alone can beat me? Foolish bitch, allow me to put you in. She never got to finish as Kurama's elbow found its way to her stomach. She then in turn spat out saliva and blood. All this happened as Naruto simultaneously tapped a bead on Cerberus' middle head and shouted, hit her for me 1 time. Hit her for me 2 times, Naruto shouted and tapped. Kurama, not missing a beat, landed a right hook to Kagaya's jaw, followed by a left jab to her ribs, cracking a few of them. Hit her for me 3 times, another shout followed by taps as Kurama slammed his left fist into her stomach, then his right into her third eye, and ended with a backhand sending her skidding back, though Kurama had already appeared behind her. Kagaya didn't know what hit her till the bitch spoke. Lego Kurama then assaulted Kagaya with punches, kicks and a few Kai blast following the beat that was playing out of nowhere. Naruto snapped his fingers as 5 pair of eyes that was watching Kagaya dashed out, showing 5 figures hidden in black torn cloaks with scythes. The creatures swung their scythes as Kurama had increased his speed, leaving the rabbit goddess nowhere to escape as the reapers attacked her from behind, and her sides as Kurama continued after each reaper took a slash at her. Enough, Kagaya shouts as dark purple Kai enshrouds her, knocking Kurama and the reapers away as her Rin Sharingan takes a darker red tone. Even her Byakugan seemed to have a red pupil in it. I will not let a weak portion of my power beat me. I am the mother of chakra, I am the rabbit goddess, I am Shinju, I am Kagaya Otsutsuki, I will not lose. She continued. Naruto, watching her power spike, grinned at the excitement. He couldn't sense her Kai, but he could tell it will be the best fight he will have. Naruto snapped his fingers again as the other reapers emerged to attack Kagaya. She swiped her hand, unleashing a wave of purple Kai which cut through some of the reapers then glowed purple before disintegrating into nothing. And now she got serious. Good, now this will be fun, Kurama spoke and poofed. As he did, Naruto blasted off of Cerberus' head and launched a punch at Kagaya, who responded with her own, their fist clash resulting in an explosion. Kagaya was confused how Naruto wasn't being erased like the reapers were until she noticed greenish-blue god Kai radiating from his fist. I sensed it the moment you all came. You gave them Hakai, you gave them small portions, then you wished for their Kai to be unlocked, thus being filled with god Kai made them a one-up god, but it can never outmatch you because they share yours, Naruto said with a smirk. Then sent a roundhouse kick with a small bit of god Kai to Kagaya's head, sending her skidding back. I thought it was Hagoromo, but you're a true challenge. Rabbit Goddess Narukin finished and snapped his fingers. Cerberus shot all three heads up and unleashed large columns of flames. The flames then spread out in four corners of the forest and created a cage of fire. Goku's fight. Goku was doing his best to push Cooler's attack back. Sharingan burst is a strong move, but he still hadn't completed yet, so the drain on his Kai was enormous. He noticed Cooler's pushing his attack while using a free hand to slowly create another. Damn it, at this rate I'll run out of Kai, I can't hold this for long. Goku thought. The light flashed behind him showing two figures, a girl who stands at 5'6", she had a slight tan and dark brown hair with grey streaks held up in a bun with a fire-shaped hair clip. She wore some type of red and burgundy armor with a fire insignia on the back in gold. She had red iris in her eyes with black pupil. Another was a boy standing 5'10", he had black spiky hair with red and blonde streaks held up in a ponytail going to his back. He had on a white and blue Saiyan armor. Underneath was a black high-collar long-sleeve shirt with blue guy pants and white boot. He had black eyes with a small scar over his right. One thing they both shared was two Saiyan tails swinging behind them. Looks like we made it in time, Huth female said, walking up to Goku and placed her hand on his shoulder. As she did, Goku felt his Kai return, but not just return, it also increased. She then let go and teleported in front of Cooler, grabbing his basketball-sized supernova and crushed it. Ah, naughty lizard, no cheating, she said in a childish tone before kneeing the frost demon in his stomach, then teleported as Goku was able to push Cooler's attack right into him, sending the lizard into the sun. Ha, it's over. Thanks, if it wasn't for you guys I'd be hug. Goku started to thank them and turned around only to see no one. Only a note and capsule that said, take care of yourself and stop being stupid, your future goddaughter. P.S. Frieza burst, you're not balancing chakra and Kai. Check capsule for beans and scrolls. Future goddaughter, is that why she helped, and aren't I married to Kai? How did I have a goddaughter? Goku asked a dumb question to himself out loud, but took the note and capsule and flew off home to check on Gohan and get a earful from Kai. Heizen's fight. Heizen was clashing with Hamura and Hagoromo since the latter destroyed Narukin's clone, but Kaizen was able to trap Ashura in a Hakai sphere that slowly disintegrates him as he struggles. Kaizen was doing his best, although the Hakai gave him a boost with his new SSJ3 form. He can feel an incredible strain on his energy and body, not to mention even with Ashura trapped he was still outnumbered. And he was enjoy every minute of it as he traded blows and dodged incoming fists and kicks. As Hagoromo and Hamura clashed with Kaizen, they had noticed he was slowing down, but that ended when not only he regained his speed, but it increased more. With a loud scream, Kaizen had Hagoromo in a lariat with his left bicep, while his knee was embedded in Hamura's stomach, sending both of them toward the ground. The Saiyan flew higher and held his hands up as a large amount of blackish red chakra and golden red Kai gathered together, forming a giant chaotic-looking sphere. Hakai Kaizen shouted and energy of destruction covered him and the sphere giving the gold a purple hue as he glared at Hagoromo with such hate as if he was trying to rip his soul apart. Then he spoke, you think we deserve to pay for that pathetic world so much? You think I care? You think Narukin or any shinobi we saved from that planet care? It was corrupted, you failed and we all suffered. My father, my life, Son Goku's Kurama, the other tailed beast and all Jinchuricus, all my friends and family, here's my final retort. Planet. Gigantic meteor destroyer. But that he tossed the sphere with one hand toward the two, he then created a clone with enough strength to handle the attack as the real him charged toward Hamura. Hagoromo went toward the attack, not noticing the switch. He tried pushing the sphere back, creating chakra arms to help. Once Hagoromo's chakra arms touched the sphere, he was assaulted with wave after wave of memories. Flashback Son Goku's POV. Running, that's all I had. Remember, after another one of these villages was created that made 3. I was in my lair in the mountain caves when they first attacked trying to capture me and use me for power. I escape, but these humans are getting smarter. I ran for years, hidden when I could, soon all 5 were forged, and I heard man Hashirama was rounding us up. I won't let him take me, I enjoy my freedom. Father, I try so hard to do as you said, but each day I find it harder and harder to guard your will and carry your wishes. Time skip, he's coming for me now. Asoba was caught and given to that mist village. From what the young monkeys tell me, he's crossing into the border. This is it, this is my only chance. I either fight or get captured. NPOV Son Goku walked out his lair glaring straight ahead as a man landed in his sight. He was a tan skin man with long flowing black hair. He wore black shinobi pants with a long sleeve shirt underneath red armor. He also had open toe sandals. He looked at the 4 tails trying to see what the bitch could doll of me be mortal. I don't wish to fight, but I will if you try to capture Mayu. Make the mistake of thinking I will let you beasts roam free. You weapons will be the balance of the ninja world. You should come, you'll bring peace. Hashirama told the 4 tails. Peace. You call using my kind as weapons peace, you dare mock the peace my father tried to achieve, Sun shouted and released a stream of flames from his mouth at the first Hokage, who clapped his hands together in a snake seal. Wood style. Wood golem jutsu. Trees sprouted around Hashirama and morphed into a giant wooden humanoid beast with a serpentine dragon wrapped around it. The golem blocked the flames and the dragon unwrapped itself and launched at the four tails. Imbi saw this and grabbed the dragon, then fired a big dama into the dragon's mouth, destroying the wooden creation, but it was a distraction as the golem charged in and landed a right hook into the four tails' stomach. The golem hand then body soon turned into tree vines wrapping around Son Goku, draining his chakra. Don't worry, the rest will join you. Was the last thing Son heard before he lost consciousness. Son's P.O. I remember the people of I more bloodthirsty than that man, host after host all, so I couldn't run. The host that helped were killed, tortured, and I would be cut off as they adjust each seal. What life is this? I meet one man though, Rashi, he never calls me my name, but he's grown on me. Even meet a person with a monkey tail like me, I felt a sort of attachment to him when the villagers treated him as me. Then Rashi died for saving that boy and they placed me in him as insult to injury. They broke him and he fought back, a power that surpassed father, and it kept rising and rising. I knew there was a chance with him. End flash black flashback dark Kurama POV. I was hunted by very village. They couldn't get the leaf because the Uzumaki care for me, the only ones. They gave me a den in a secret location. I thought I was finally free again, so I slept to regain my chakra. When I awoke, a man was standing before me. I first thought he was that Senju man, but he was paler and had a vile chakra that reminded me of Indra. The first shouted. I didn't hear what this man's speech was. I just wanted the eldest son's reincarnation dead. Unfortunately, I looked into his eyes and fell into his gain jutsu. He used me to battle that Senju to terrorize nations that he passed me as a mere pet. Then I was sealed 3 times into 2 horrible Uzumakis and 1 good one. Menma flashback. It begun the 4th Great War Menma, and I had defeated Obito. All that was left was Madara, the 10 tails, that brat Sasuke, who sealed and backstabbed Orochimaru, who summoned all past Kages and Nagato to help and took control of the jutsu, and Otsutsuki Toneri. I was almost ripped from Menma if not for a crash in front of us. It was some sort of pod. It opened up to reveal a man who almost resembled Menma, but with red hair with blonde and black streaks. Another 2 pods landed and many more people stepped out. Half out them were identical to people I've seen in this world, but they felt stronger a bit. NPOV Menma Uzumaki, save your energy, my counterpart. You will win this war. Stand up like a warrior. I'm going to show you true strength. Naruto spoke softly and walked toward the group of villains, Madara walking next to him wanting to fight her counterpart. Her and Naruto's grin that crept up had widened when Madara had absorbed the 10 tails into him. His new eye he took from Obito's body had morphed into a blood-red Rin Sharingan, while his left eye was still a normal Rinnegan. Madara and Toneri watched as the reanimation and Sasuke charged at the two, thinking this would be an easy kill. Naruto stopped moving as Madara dashed in front of him. Dance for me, zombies raw plus undeath beam barrage, she said as she danced and skated across the field, shoots countless death beams at the mini platoon, shooting them down as she danced around them. Thanks to the 10 tails and the lightning added, the reanimations were staying down for the count. Sasuke tried to sneak up on her only for Naruto to grab him by the neck and flick him towards Menma's feet head first. I would kill him, just saying. No good. Besides, female Uchihas and Itachi come from that clan, Naruto said nonchalantly. Menma blinked a few times, lost before speaking. Who? Are you counterpart? Naruto smirked at the boy before floating in the air and releasing a scream. The clouds darkened as lightning danced across the sky. The lightning then struck Naruto as his Kai shot out and he transformed into his SSJ state. Then red chakra morphed into a giant fox head that could be seen above a large blinding light that enshrouded Naruto as he spoke. For thousands of years I lay dormant, you who have destroyed my slumber. I am Naruto Saiyan of planet Vegeta, Super Saiyan of legend, bringer of death, destroyer of worlds, and wrecker of your shit. His voice could be heard across the field. You know it's too bad Obito's dead, you would probably be alive longer, but again, too bad. Naruto shouted and flew toward Toneri, grabbing his face toward the sky as Madara clashed fist with Madara, creating shockwaves. You're what I would have became to ensure peace. Well then, Madara, shall we dance? Shall we dance? The two Uchihas flew at each other, unleashing vicious combos while blocking the other's attacks. Madara and Madara flashed across the battlefield. Madara, who appeared to be on the defensive, was blocked each attack gracefully yet easily. Madara took notice of this and sped up on his Asu ult. Madara blocked a few attacks before grabbing Madara's arm. She pulled him in closer and gave a vicious headbutt to her counterpart, cracking his horned headband in half, showing his new third eye. You are becoming more and more like the rabbit goddess. I truly feel sorry for you, your dream is being used as a pawn, Madara said to him as a small tear fell. Madara looked at her. He was going to say she was wrong, but something made him quiet when he saw her tear. Madara felt she was somehow right, but he couldn't stop. Not now, not when he was so close. if it ensures true eternal peace in this world. Then I am happy to be a pawn and abandon my humanity, he spoke and charged at Madara, launching 4 Jidodamas at her, while 2 shadows split from him and created perfect shadow Susanus. Both Susanu's swords were taken out and swung towards her. Madora's hair spilled down the middle and flashed golden as her eyes took a seafoam green color, she bulked a bit and her kai took a golden hue, signaling she went SSJ. Madara grabbed both swords and redirected them into the ground in front of her, creating a shield blocking the Jidodamas. Madara flew up till she was at chest level of both Susanus. She waited once Madara closed the distance before she released a super explosive wave, pushing Madara back whole, also breaking the Susanus apart. Madara grabbed the shadow on her right and activated her human path, absorbing the shadow. She was going to do the same to the last one, but it returned to Madara, whose robe was torn and cuts and a bit of blood around him. Madara had weaved a few hand signs and spoke storm style. Wrath of Susanoo, Madara shot a ball of concentrated lightning into the sky, the clouds above with the lightning turned into tornado. When the tornado touched the ground, it released a large wave of lightning around it as it morphed into a humanoid samurai with a spear in its hand. The spear was made of the same lightning that coursed around its body. The storm humanoid slammed its spear in the ground and 16 large pillars of lightning shot from the ground around the field, killing a few shinobi. Madara stared at the jutsu, she gave Madara a small smirk and activated her complete Susanoo. Unlike Madara, she doesn't need the armor anymore, and Madara's Susanoo took a golden glow, it opened its hand, and golden blue chains shot out coiling around the storm humanoid. The storm struggled to break the chains, but Madara activated her Ashura path and drained its chakra till the jutsu disperse. Madara activated his perfect Susanoo as Madara's ran at 2 Susanuos clashed with lightning-fast attacks. Madara was using his Susanoo swords, Madara was using her Susanoo's fist to counter the blades. Narukins vs Toneri, Dark Kurama POV Kurama talk. I felt it in that boy, another me I would feel irritated or enraged, but I felt more good than like us. I had to speak with him. I entered a complete vast forest with a few mountains. That was this boy's mindscape. Locating my counterpart's chakra, I was sent deep in the forest and was face to face with an orange and black version of myself. He didn't push me out or try to erase my existence like we normally would. They made this easier. I was going to speak, but he beat me to the punch. I know what you're going to say. I will explain who he is and how we came to be. You've been through a lot and you have collected more hatred than I could imagine. A darker knot. You all didn't deserve this rest, and watch, I promise you'll be more than a dark bitch to someone else. My counterpart told me and explained to me what a Saiyan was. Explained how Ilium was harsh, but only Konohasuna Odo Iwa, Father Indra and Ashura Kagaya were the true villains. They had slowly been corrupted by Black Zetsu, who was actually created by a man named Momoshiki Otsutsuki, brother of Kagaya. After it all, I believed him. If there was one more besides Menma, I wished to meet him, so I turned and watched the fight. Then POV. Narukin flew above the clouds before he tossed Toneri. Cracking his neck and knuckles, Narukin waited for Toneri to register what just happened to him. You disgusting mutant, do you know who I am? Toneri spat, entering his Tensogen chakra mode. Narukin didn't move as the man planted a punch to his face. Narukin only shook his head disappointingly. Toneri threw more punches, but Narukin blocked them with one arm, while his tail jabbed Toneri in his stomach, causing him to kneel over. Narukin's tail swung back again, slamming down on Toneri's neck. Weak, but since you didn't hear who I was, I'm going to give you another chance. Now buddy, I want you to hit as hard as you can, Narukin said. Are you now you may have misheard me, not half as hard, not some weak ass percentage, no as hard as you can. Narukin interrupted him with a beepy smirk. And if I decide not to follow this stupid wish, Otsutsuki asked. Then I guess your main branch was right about. Narukin was cut off by a punch to his abdomen which made him chuckle. You consider they nerve touched, said, fixing his position, leaving a shocked Toneri. How are you this strong? Toneri asked him, with slight sweat running down his face. Because Toneri, you're either perfect or you not me, Narukin said, then disappeared and reappeared. Everything slowed down for Toneri as he felt Narukin slightly above him, with the Saiyan's foot planted on the side of his head as the Saiyan body twisted. Time resumed to normal and Naruki fast spin. Using the momentum, Narukin's foot sent Toneri flying in a downward spiral toward the tree of Shinju. Toneri with all his might tried to aerial recover, but to no avail. His only recover was stopping from spinning. His eyes widened with fear as he noticed Narukin appear in front of him, flying down with his eyes closed and hand crossed. Narukin snapped his eyes open as his sharingan spun. It was still golden, but the design was a pentagram upside on the left and downside on the right. Inside each center was a razor sun design connecting to the lines in the pentagrams. He sent 4 punches to Toneri's body which seemed like blurs and an incredible amount of pain to the Otsutsuki. Then a large golden purple skeleton arm grabbed Toneri by his neck. Toneri soon realized this monster has the Mangekyo Sharingan, and this was Susanoo. It pulled its arm back and flung Toneri, making him crash through the god tree. Shinju. You know my wife is no weakling either, but for Madara to match SSJ, and you can't is really disappointing, Naruto told him. Madara and Madara stopped their Susanoo fight at the sight of Toneri flying past them and into the god tree. They both noticed the golden-purple Susanoo arm, then it continued to grow, soon a large skeleton with horns formed, then the flesh, clothes and armor. Soon standing taller than both Madara's and Madara's was a golden-purple Susanoo. Its face was covered by a dark purple hood that reached to its waist, and a dark purple face mask, both with golden outlines. The only thing you could see of its face was golden eyes. Over its head was 6 Magatomas. Its armor looked like a mix between samurai and Saiyan armor. It had 4 arms, 2 were carrying large purple chakra swords. The back right held a crossbow on its arm and held a sheath, while THW back left just held a sheath. The Susanoo placed both sheaths on its back. The sheaths morphed into outlines of wings as its hood fused with them, creating wings. It flew at Shinju and sliced its way through the tree. Naruto tossed a large ball of Kai into the tree, just as his Susanoo cut through the other side. As the Kai connected, it exploded on contact, eradicating the tree, leaving only 9 chakra-shaped forms of the Bijk. The chakras then flew down and morphed back into the dark Bijk of Muel. Seeing Toneri, Naruto shot out 5 rings of Kai. The rings clamped onto Toneri, immobilizing him. "Do me a favor, die and never return," Naruto told him. His Susanoo charged forward, its left backhand on fire as it landed a punch on Toneri. "Take this, Susanoo Dragon Fist," Naruto shouted, and a large purple flame dragon blasted itself out the other side of Toneri. He couldn't feel a thing other than the burning pain ripping through his body. He watched the Susanoo back up for a slight second before he was eaten in one bite by the dragon, descending and exploded. Then flashback, Dark Kurama POV. "I couldn't believe my eyes that day, and I still can't even after joining Kaizen. The other me was right, and I will protect my friend no matter what." Hagoromo couldn't take it anymore. All the anguish the Jinchurikis of both worlds went through, how he failed. Hagoromo let a tear fall and turned to see Kaizen fighting Homura. One eye was slit, the other wasn't, but there was still small tears and hatred in them. Hatred he tried to diminish, but let himself fall too, but this one is justified. Hagoromo looked at Homura, who crossed glances to see his brother mouth out a few words before he faced the blast without his chakra arms and let it hit him, ending the Sage of 6 Paths forever. "I'm sorry for what I have done, release." Homura stopped moving as a seal appeared on his forehead. He dropped to his knees, clutching his hand as a wave of pain hit, with the seal slowly cracking until it broke. Kaizen, who stopped attacking, watched what was happening. He felt Hagoromo's Kai and chakra fade away. Knowing his clone did its job, he waited. Homura slowly stood, having the seal removed. He was rushed with memories of everything that happened. He turned to Kaizen, noticing the markings on him. He quickly bowed and spoke. "Sama, I apologize. I wasn't in my right mind. Please don't tell my father, or worse." Koch and Homura blurted out, apologizing over and over, causing Kaizen to sweat drop. "What?" Naruto fight. Naruto and Kagaya were trading blow for blow, neither giving an inch. To be honest, Naruto was enjoying this immensely. The clash ended with Naruto landing a kick to Kagaya's chin. Kagaya recovered and was going to attack until she felt a large pain course through her body and head. Clutching her head, she fell to the ground as a white seal appeared on her left horn. The seal slowly cracked as she screamed. Naruto wondered what was happening until Kagaya's body emitted smoke covering her body. When it cleared, it showed her the same, but with a blue kimono and a blue halo behind her. Naruto didn't know what happened, but not caring, he rushed at her with a fistful of God Kai. He was only a few inches from her face when he was blocked by 2 scepters in front of her and a small hand blocking his fist. The one blocking his fist was a small man with a halo behind his head. He had blue skin and clothes with an orange symbol. He had short, slick silver hair. He also wore black and white shoes. He stared at Naruto before giving him a smile and spoke. "Now Naruto-san, I would have to ask you nicely not to kill my wife." Naruto stared at the man. Well, he wasn't new to God Kai. Naruto knew he was no pushover to stop his attack so easily. His eyes turned to the 2 women guarding Kagaya with their scepters. Both women, despite one being way taller than the other, they held a glare in their eyes at him. Both angels pointed their hands out, but the small man placed his hand up, signaling them to stop. Now Vados, cuss, he doesn't know what is going on or who we are, am I correct, Naruto-san?" he told his children while asking the Saiyan in a polite manner. "Start by telling who you all are, and I'll think about not having Cerberus nuke my forest and her ice world," said his voice laced with caution and seriousness. He knew these 3 were stronger, and from what he is sensing, Kagaya's power was increasing. Both blue-skinned females were going to respond with small dark spheres in hands, but the man only sent them a look which made them stop and bow their heads in an apologetic manner. The Grand Priest turned back to the Saiyan with frown at the tone but chose to ignore it. "I am the Grand Priest, guardian and advisor of Zeno SM, king of the multiverse. You see, many years ago my wife fell ill to an unknown plague. Her brothers came to us telling of a fruit he created on a planet in case of this sickness. I never trusted her brothers as they wanted nothing more than to be leader of Otsutsuki. It then came to my attention, he created a being to control people in secret or manipulate them. Mama Shiki altered her memories to where she was obsessed with chakra and wants to destroy anything that had it until it backfired on Mama Shiki as well, so he used the creature to keep eye and control her. Then she had kids with a human with chakra, and the creature convinced her only she should have chakra while controlling the eldest, and the rest is history, he told the Saiyan. He then turned and floated over to his wife. But really you Kagaya, asked her husband, tears slowly forming as all the memories that were altered and what she'd done were slowly coming back into place. Yes, my rabbit queen, it's me, he said as he hugged his long-lost wife. You don't have to worry anymore, it's all over the sickness, Mama Shiki, the Otsutsuki, it's all over. His words let the tears drop down Kagaya's face freely as she cried her heart out. Her brothers used her and her family just to be leader, just for power. Naruto watched this scene play out before he snapped his fingers, which caused the flame cage, the forest and Cerberus to disperse. He slowly walked toward them and offered a hand to help Kagaya up. Kaizen and Hamura. Kaizen and Kurama were confused about what just happened. He turned when out of nowhere two large power levels had appeared in front of them. One was a female with dark brown hair with ash gray streak and a male with black hair, along with red and blonde streaks, which reminded Karen of both Naruto and his son Izuna. Kaizen was going to speak when he felt incredible pain, blood spilled from his mouth, nose, and ears, falling to his knees as his transformation shut down. Gah, this body can't handle that transformation anymore, he said. Dark Kurama was doing his best to heal his host, knowing he stayed in SSJ3 too long, and mixing it with Hakai took an even greater toll on his body. Oh goody, he's stronger than our timeline, cousin, the female spoke in a childish tone, then flew at Kaizen, who braced for the attack, but it never came. He looked up to see Hamura holding a staff with a weird shaped M as the tip. The staff blocked the girl assault as shown by her fist, trying to push the staff back. Old man Hamura, why do you always stop me? Let me fight my father, damn it. She shouted at Hamura, flailing her arms angrily while Karen had a shocked look on his face. Child of this destroyer or not, I will not allow you to do as you please, Hamura retorted. You think you are hot shit, old man? Lazuli, you're off track again. You said you would stop doing that, the man behind said to her. The now identified Azula glared at her cousin for not backing her up and again choosing to always, as he put it, correct her. Shut up, Izuna. You always do this, he isn't an HFIL. And I never even got to meet my father, know his power, or know how he'll ever feel about me, and for that, she spoke with blue flames exploding around her, pushing Hamura back. His body was in too much pain, and from what that man said, this was his little flame princess, which meant to him that man was Naruto's son. Still, his Saiyan blood was roaring in him not to lose to her fellow Saiyan, so Kaizen began to retaliate, punch after punch, kick after kick. Each attack, both father and daughter sent clashed with each other. Kaizen knew he couldn't keep up with her in this state, but he never stood down. The Saiyan father went for a roundhouse kick to the head. But the younger female Saiyan only put her left arm up, blocking his kick. She then pushed Kaizen back and delivered a jaw-shattering punch to his face. Once Kaizen was sent back, Azula appeared before him again and continued her previous assault. Hamura and Izuna watched her assault Kaizen. Both were going to interfere, but saw Kaizen raise his, suddenly figured it out. He was letting this happen, whether from losing energy fast from the form or fighting, he was letting her do this. Azula went for another punch. This time deep blue flames erupted from her fist, but she was stopped by Kaizen, who went in between her and poked her forehead with his index and middle finger. As he wore a smile on his face, he looked at her with so much love and pride, but also hurt from knowing he wasn't in her life in the previous fights. My flame princess, my azure flame daughter, Azula spoke and fainted. As he started to fall, Azula caught him. You better wake up so I can kick your teeth in. She said with a sigh as she placed her father on a building and left a senzu bean. She floated up to Hamura and Izuna, and they told him to wait, as not long after Naruto, the Grand Priest, Kagaya, Vados, and Kuss appeared. About time, uncle, Lady Kagaya, Grand Priest, Lady Vados, and Lady Kuss, Azula teased them. Naruto noted what she said for later and floated down to Kaizen and gave him the senzu bean, healing him. Kaizen, fully healed, flew up to turn to her father and gave a small smirk, which he returned. Saving everyone trouble, Vados showed a projection of the conversation the Grand Priest and Naruto had, which left Kaizen jaw-dropping, Hamura a little bit speechless, and a jittery Kuss examining Hamura. Once she was done, Kuss gave her new brother a smile and a strong bear hug. I can't believe it, I'm not the youngest anymore, and you look so much like mother, except your horns look like your skin, she said, hugging him tighter. Hamura flailed his arms trying to get help, but to dismay everyone only laughed at the poor demi-chakra angel until. Well, Cooler and the Otsutsuki's were attacking. That was interesting to say the least, but shame you didn't kill these damn Saiyans after all. The only good Saiyan is a dead one, a deep dark voice spoke, interrupting everyone to see two figures. One had a large bulk male figure. He had on a black and red bodysuit with a golden and silver vest. He wore gold and silver gloves and boots. He was dark-skinned with slick-back silver-white hair and cyber-blue eyes with 4 red lines on his face, 2 on each eye. The smaller one had an Hercules figure. She looked like a bluish-white skin with cyber-blue eyes with the same red lines, but thinner. She wore a purple jean jacket and tight black pants with purple high-heel boots. Yes, Ad, really, but at least we still have a souvenir, Big Brother said in a wicked tone before bringing her hand up. A soldier appeared next to her with a video showing a frozen Mei, Hinata, Bulma and Madara and a block of ice Kaizen, and Azla saw this, they instantly flashed SSJ and rushed at the two. "Duty, they wanna play? Can I play with my new toys, Big Brother?" the female asked the taller male. He smirked at her and floated up higher. The female grinned and rushed at the two. Azla went for a right hook to the girl's stomach, while Kaizen went for a kick to her head. Both Saiyans' attacks landed on her, but there was a problem. Kaizen's kick only turned her head, and Azla's punch only moved her an inch. The girl whipped her head and grabbed both Kaizen's foot and Azla's fist and slammed the Saiyans into each other. She released both of them and unleashed a hailstorm of Kai blast at the two. Azla and Kaizen took the full damage and was sent flying back. Azla recovered first and charged at the girl, but Izuna appeared next to the alien and kicked her in the neck toward Azla and weaved hand signs. Azla, who charged up a fist of blue flames, slammed her fist into the girl's stomach, exploding on contact, sending her toward the ground as Azla weaved hand signs. "Take this, freak Neo Uchiha style. Wrath of the Dragon God," they both shouted and unleashed a large torrent of red and blue flames. The flames then combined into a large purple Eastern dragon. The dragon grabbed the alien girl with its mouth as it spun around and crashed to the ground. It then exploded on contact, creating a large explosion, wiping a large portion of the area to dust. Azla and Izuna begun to smirk until Hamura, Naruto in his SSJ-3 state and Kaizen in SSJ-2 went next to them. Kaizen then screamed as he slowly drew on his Kurama Kai while increasing his own. With a flash of light he transformed into his SSJ-3 Hakai state. "Don't smirk, I felt it when she hit you." In Kaizen, "She's way above your level, she's playing," Hamura said. Sure enough, the female appeared in front of them with only a torn jacket. "He's right, you know, besides if I wanted I could kill you, but Big Bro would be mad," said. "I don't care for you or your brother, I want my damn wives," Naruto told her. "Oh, I know, I'll make you a deal, you switch places with her and we leave the planet." "Deal," she said in a thinking pose. "Nah, hey, Big Brother wants to talk to you Saiyans and Inkus, you got feisty, we have her, a brunette Cyclops, a blonette and a Saiyan woman who needs a serious haircut." Naruto, Izuna and Kaizen went wide-eyed. Kaizen and Naruto both looked at each other before vanishing. Immediately following them, the female woman vanished and the three began a deadly dance, no one giving an inch, which shocked Izuna, Hamura and Azla. Kagaya, the Grand Priest and their children only watched in fascination. More, ha ha ha, you Saiyans sure do know how to fight," said, then quickly landing her knee into Naruto's chest while her right hand held Kaizen's fist with a bit of a struggle. Kaizen only gave off a small smirk and channeled his tailed beast chakra. The chakra took shape of a fist before launching into the alien girl's face, sending her back a few feet. Naruto charged his Kai and opened his mouth as a small black orb formed. "Bijdama volley," he shouted, shooting 5 of the tailed beast bombs, each infused with Kai at the girl, who saw the attack but couldn't counter or dodge as Kaizen, Azla and Izuna blocked her exits, unleashing their respective jutsu. "Daitoppa, great breakthrough," Izuna said, unleashing a large and power gust of wind at the girl. "Kaiten. Aoi Raiken Ka no Jutsu, blue dragon flame, loud singing jutsu." Azla roared, launching 6 blue flaming dragon heads at the enemy. The dragons span around the Futm. Toppa turning into a tornado of blue flames. Once the tornado formed, Kaizen wasn't far behind with his technique. All-killing ash bones, he launched 5 bones from his palms and embedded them into the Bijdamas, which continued their course until they entered the tornado and exploded. "Wow, Big Brother Sabagila, they sure are something," the female said as the smoke cleared. Everyone saw she was gravely injured. Suddenly her body glowed with a pink hue. When it died, her injuries were gone. "Impressive, but Saiyans, I am here for only one thing really outside of this sparring match with my little sister Farrakhan. A year ago today, Frieza and his father Cold had came to Earth with imagined female. I had paid handsomely for her and I demand her back," the elder Tuffle Sabagila said. Hearing this, Kaizen started seeing red and was about to attack before Izuna placed a hand on his shoulder and told him, "Not to worry, uncle, we have been stalling them for a few reasons." "Oh, and what reasons are those, Saiyan?" Izuna looked toward Azla, who started laughing at the Tuffles until she calmed down and spoke. "An angry Elium Jinchuriki Kage, who is my mother, the brunette angry Elium Saiyan Uchiha, and a angry Elium Hyuga." Azla then pointed at the screen Sabagila held, which showed the ice of captured women empty and set ablaze with black flames and lava. Suddenly an explosion had went off and they could see the big Son Goku destroying the ship, beating his chest. As the destroyed ship fell down towards the city, Son Goku, who fell with it, reverted back into Mei Terumi. Being two of the few who could fly, Madara and Hinata had grabbed Bulma and flew down on a building near Naruto and Kaizen. They dropped off their friend's sister-wife before joining their alternate timeline family in the fight. Bulma had shown an interesting ability, closing her legs together, clenching her fist, she brought her knees to her chest and slammed them down, as if attempted to jump. That's when flames burst from the bottom of her feet in clenched fists, and as if she was a jet in mid-air and her limbs were her propulsion system. She flew down towards the group ready to fight her kidnappers. Seeing as everyone was safe and he couldn't keep his new form up for long, Kaizen powered down to SSJ2, while also staring at his wife Mei, with both shock and starry eyes wanting an explanation. Naruto, who was watching, gave his fellow Saiyan a look questioning, only to receive a knowing look as Kaizen transformed into his Kurama chakra mode. He wasn't done yet as he crossed his arms in X, while blue and blackish red chakra exploded from his body. 8 gates. 5th gate. Toman gate of limit, open. Karen shouted, his cloak color reversing, taking on a reddish-black hue. With furrowed eyebrow and a smirk, Karen looked at Naruto and only said, keep up. Vanishing in a red and black flash, the ash-gray-haired Saiyan appeared in front of the older Tuffle invader and delivered a viscous haymaker to his abdomen. Cobalt was able to block the attack but was still sent skidding back a few feet. As he regained his footing, Kaizen was already upon him. The two clashed and jutted around the sky, firing barrages of punches and kicks. With a grey bone jutting out of his hand that was pointed at the male Tuffle's face. Any last words, Tuffle? Kaizen said, devoid of any emotions for the cybernetic being. Brother. Farrakhan shouted and rushed to her brother's aid only to be cut off by Naruto, who appeared in front of her and kicked her away, then moved through a quick series of hand signs ending with clapping his hands together. Naruto separated his hands, which now had a tiny white and red spiral orb. It pulsed between his palms, and with each pulse the orb grew double in size, growing the size of a softball. Naruto thrusted his right hand outward, and the orb shot towards the Tuffle at incredible speeds. Farrakhan, who was able to recover however, saw the attack and easily evaded it. Wasting no time, she rushed at Naruto, who waved his hand forward, and 10 shadow clones appeared from nowhere and rushed at Farrakhan, but suddenly the clones vanished in plumes of smoke, and Farrakhan was held back by 2 scepters belonging to Kus and Vados. In front of Naruto was yet again the Grand Priest, with a calming smile on his face. His open hand was parallel to Naruto, while his other hand balanced the Saiyan's attacks. Looking over to the other Saiyan, Naruto saw that Kagaya had blocked Kaizen's bone with her own, while her other hand had a black rod piercing the elder Tuffle's shoulder. Apologies yet again, Naruto-san, however I don't think the city could take any more damage, nor am I inclined to believe Tuffle-san that they would hand over someone important to them, the Grand Priest spoke. You Saiyans ruin everything, first my people, my home, and everything up to now. Sabagila exclaimed with fury. He couldn't move, likely due to the rod in his shoulder, but he was still angry, believing the Saiyans to be the source of the Tuffle race's problems. Now it appears these monkeys have the gods on their sides. I believe you two did this on your own. Well, I remember and understand the conflicted history between your two races. These Saiyans had no direct hand in Planet Plant's takeover destruction. Moreover, I believe in Universe 7, it is forbidden to be a part of any species trafficking. I will have to personally speak to my son and Beerus about this. Until then, for this crime I sentence you to the prison planet. 1 in Dragon Ball Heroes Not Super with Moro, the Grand Priest responded, with a nod to his wife and daughters. The 2 Tuffles disappeared in a flash of light. Seeing the threat gone and everyone safe, the 2 Saiyans powered down with Kaizen falling on one knee. Naruto stared at the divine family, waiting for them to say or do anything. Well, now I believe that will be enough for today. I want to thank you again, Naruto-san, for reuniting me with my wife. If there is anything I can do, let me know, the Grand Priest said before him and his family left in pillars of light that shot off like a shooting star. So what you gonna call that long hair form? Naruto asked, turning his attention towards Kaizen. I have no clue really, I think I'll call this destruction, Saiyan. Kaizen responded to ours friend. That stupid, Naruto deadpan back, then you come up with a name, smartass, Kaizen yelled childishly, only for a voice to vouch out. Why not call it Ultra Ego Level 3? This caused everyone to turn their attention towards Homura, who apparently was left behind by his family. 2 years later. We find Naruto, his wives Tsunade Tayuya and Madara. Kaizen and his wives Hinata, Mei, Terumi and Victoria, Goku and the Z Fighters, as well as Azula and Izuna, standing on a cliff 9 miles from South City. The dreaded day had come, the androids were to arrive today based off of future Trunks' words. Having waited over 2 hours and not sensing any energy, the Z Fighters proposed to split up and search after finding out they couldn't sense these androids. However, the ninjas had a better solution. With a cross-hand seal, 5 shadow clones of Naruto, Kaizen, Madara, Hinata, Tsunade, Mei, Tayuya appeared. Victoria couldn't create shadow clones, instead the female Majin released 10 pink wadded balls from her body. The spheres then morphed and grew, taking form of 10 Victorias. Telling the clones to search for anyone or thing that fits the android's MO, Naruto directed the group towards the wastelands nearby to avoid any damages to the city. It didn't take longer than 15 minutes for the clones, followed by two beings landed down in front of them. Seeing their mission was done, the clones dispelled while Victoria's merged back with her. The man in front is called Dr. Jiro, and the fat clown is designated as 19, Victoria said to everyone. Dr. Jiro was an old slightly tanned-skinned man, blue eyes, a large bushy white mustache, and long hair. He also has a Red Ribbon Army logo located on the hat. He has a lack of eyebrows in his old age. His clothing is black, with orange sections at the upper arms and light yellow sleeves at the lower arms. His pants are dark brown, and his shoes are black and white. Next to him was the figure designated as Android 19. Android 19's appearance consists of completely white, two dangling earrings, extra-large orange pants, an extra-large banana white strap-on vest, a broad red sash, and an orange pointed hat with a Red Ribbon Army logo on the front. He is overweight and has pointed, light blue cold eyes. All in all, Android 19 gave off the impression of a joke. "And who are you supposed to be? In fact, since you know us, you could at least introduce yourselves." Jiro spoke and looked at 19, whose eyes went red with data scanning through them, only to get a few pings and buzzer sounds. "No data detected on the females or that man in the back," 19 said and pointed at Izuna. "The others are Naruto, a Saiyan like Son Goku, and Kaizen, also a Saiyan like Son Goku. No new data from previous records, no new abilities then recorded," Android 19 finished. Hearing this, everyone smirked. Naruto had originally planned all this, from the moment of training his wives, over the 3 years to meeting on the cliff and sending clones to fetch the androids. Now hearing they have no data on his wives excites him greatly. The reason being, on his wives and Kaizen's wives' faces, the women were pissed, they felt they were being underestimated, and they wanted to prove the androids wrong. "I see, regardless, we have no business with the rest of you. As I have said to your doppelgangers, I am only interested in Son Goku," Jiro said. Now normally everyone would just let Goku fight, and 9 out of 10 Goku would fight. However, thanks to Azula, Trunks' medicine, his wife and son, Goku decided to sit this out. He hadn't felt the virus Trunks spoke of, and neither has Naruto, but lately today he felt a bit weaker. This time, before anyone could speak, the 6 women stood in front of the androids. "If you want Goku, ta Yuya said, holding her hand out and creating a pinkish red Kai blast. 3 golden chains erupted from her back and a small one from her wrist of the hand holding the Kai blast. The small chain wrapped around the upper part of her flute, leaving the mouthpiece exposed. Playing the flute, her 3 large doji appeared in front of the gang, blocking the android's path. After 3 years ago coming here with everyone, Naruto revealed her ancestry. She was partly an Uzumaki on her mother's side. Then first old man Tsunade said, clapping her hands together, pale blue markings stretching across her face, making eyes that extends to her ears. As well as an additional round marking on her forehead with a dot in its center resembling a third eye, her eyes become yellow with a black pupil. This wasn't her 100 healings jutsu, this was Tsunade using Sage Mode. Weaving the snake hand seal, Tsunade called out. "Get past us, Senpu Mokuten. Hijutsu Jukai Koten, Sage Art Wood Style. Secret Technique. Nativity of a World of Trees." From the ground, large trees and branches erupted and began surrounding the group. With a wave of her hands, Tsunade unleashed her jutsu towards the androids. Despite the sizes of her wood style, the forest had moved with great speeds to ensnare the androids. Madara for her part smirked at Tsunade's work. "It seems our work with your granddaughter is paying off, Hashibaka." "I agree, Midori-chan, this Jukai Koten could almost compare to my own without Sage Mode," Hashirama responded from within his seal, impressed at how much Tsunade has grown. While they were talking, Android 19 and were simply weaving through the forest by flying or blasting branch tendrils as they get close to them. Due to their focus on Tsunade's jutsu, they were unaware someone had been using the growing forest to get behind them. Boil release. Skilled mist. A cloud of mist shot from the mouth of Mei Terumi. The mist had covered the area surround the growing forest and the androids inside. Jiro, noticing his surroundings, stared at the growing trees and noticed what this mist was. It was acid. 19 Activate Barrier, the scientist of the Red Ribbon Army, shouted, covering his body in Kai as the forest began to melt as it still grew. 19 quickly followed its creator, however as the android's barrier covered them, that's when Tayuya struck. Her 3 doji dive bombed the 2 androids. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.